Welcome to my first Blackoween vlog. As you could tell in the B-roll, you've seen a few days in the past. So today is actually the 8th of October. It's around 4:30. I just haven't had that much time to read for Blackoween specifically. I have read a book or two that was just interesting to me beforehand. So I'll officially be starting this vlog today. The B-roll that you saw was from earlier this month. And I went to the library and got some books, and then I went and picked up Model Home, which we'll talk about in a bit. I have started this a little bit, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I just wanted to start with what my real quick plan is for Blackoween. So I did an accomplished investigator Thoreau in Joe's library for July Noir, which I'll have that vlog linked above. And I realized that The Good House by Tananarive Due actually fits all of the prompts for the location Bayou Haunted House. So I figured it's going to be pretty easy for me to get through this book, even though it is pretty thick. I mean, it's just under 500 pages, but I'm really excited to pick this one up. I've heard nothing but great things in terms of Tananarive Due. This is a lot of people's favorites of hers. I read The Reformatory at the beginning of the year and really, really loved it, and haven't picked anything else up by her, so I'm long overdue and I'm very excited for this. So this is going to be the book that will accomplish one location for me for sure this month. However, this is not the vlog for this book. We will have another vlog in a couple of weeks where I'll be tackling this book and a few other Tananarive Due books that you'll see here in a second. But today we're going to talk about River Solomon. So like I said, I picked up Model Home and I've started reading this, and I have a couple of other books here, but I wanted to do more for Blackoween aside from just only reading The Good House. So I figured that because I want to read River Solomon's works and more of Tananarive Due's works, I'm hoping to read 3 books in total from each of those authors and specifically have a vlog just for them in terms of like an author taste testing like video. So that's what you're gonna get here with River Solomon. This one is a haunted house story. That's all I really know. I just started, I'm only like 20 pages in, so I literally don't have any update. I'll update you guys once I get a little further in. But since you guys saw I went to the bookstore, I did get some other books. So I want to go through what books I plan on reading for this vlog specifically, and what you can expect for the rest of Blackoween. So actually, I'm dumb and I forgot to go grab the other River Solomon books that I own. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. As I said, I'm going to read hopefully 3 River Solomon books in this vlog, specifically starting with the Model Home that I have here, Haunted House Story. I have The Deep here, which this one doesn't really fit into the Blackoween haunted, like spooky stuff, I guess I could say. This is going to be more like fantasy. But even though it's not going to count for Blackoween, it's still a Black author, and you know, I'm still going to finish the location with The Good House, so I figured I've been wanting to read this, so this will be great in terms of my vlog to see which River Solomon books I like and some that I don't, or if I love them all, we'll see. And lastly, I have Sorrowland, and this one should count for a prompt in the Saint Treme graveyard. I should have had the list of that stuff here, but I don't at the moment, just because between some of these other books I'm going to show you guys in a bit, whatever I can get to, outside of these two, Tananarive and River Solomon vlog, those are just going to be able to fit into whatever prompts they can, and I'll see if I finish another location, and if not, I'm not super pressed about it, but I do want to read this one for this vlog. And honestly, I don't know much about this. I think it's like a woman who's pregnant that goes and lives on like her own compound out in the woods, and like weird stuff kind of happens. I see mushrooms and plants and stuff out here, so I wonder if they're going to like have their own kind of sentience, or I just think about that because I just finished What Moves the Dead, and that had kind of like the fungus being its own kind of like element in the book, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm hoping that I get a little bit of that in here. We'll see. So yeah, these are the 3 books I'm going to read for this vlog. And I'm going to quickly run through the other books that I have bought and what the other books are for the Tananarive Do vlog. So as I said, The Good House, I have that one here. And then I picked up The Between by Tananarive Do as well, and I will read this one in the Tananarive Do vlog. And the other one I'll pop on the screen because I don't have it physically, I just have it on ebook, and that is My Soul to Keep. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out because that vlog will come out this month as well. And then real quickly, I found some good deals on books that I'm excited about. I bought Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. It's a book that a lot of people have suggested to me. I had it from the library, but I saw it on sale. It was like half off at the bookstore, so I decided to pick it up. Excited about this one. I picked up This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger, which is a Native American story, and that's all I really know. It was recommended from my mother-in-law, and we just buddy read Firekeeper's Daughter last month and absolutely loved it, and she had read this book before and suggested this one to me. I've heard other people talk about this book before, so funny enough, I saw it on the discount shelf and decided to pick it up. Not sure when I'll get to it, but I am excited to pick it up eventually and that I own it. Next up, I found a copy of The Spell Shop with sprayed edges, and it was like maybe $10, which was a really cool find. So this is a comfy, cozy fantasy. That's all I know. I just know it's in the vein of like, what's the popular one? Lunches and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust. So I picked this one up that I'll probably read in closer to like December time. I picked up a classic from Paul Tremblay because I haven't read anything by Paul Tremblay. And this is The Cabin at the End of the World. It was fairly short. It was like $5, so I decided to pick this one up. Let me know if you've read Paul Tremblay before, because I don't know if this is a good place to start, but I know it's a lot of people's like favorite author, so decided to pick this one up. And lastly, I purchased Lone Women by Victor Lavelle. This one was going around a lot, and a lot of people read it for July Noir. I know it's a like mystery thriller horror, kind of all included into one, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping that I needed to do so you understand what this vlog is, what I'm doing this month. Like I said, it's about 4:30, and Bree, who's the host of Blackoween, is actually hosting sprints at about 5 o'clock my time today. So I'm going to hop on those, and then I know that Ahtiya at Booking Game with Ahtiya also has late night sprints tonight. So I think I'm going to make a quick dinner so I don't have to worry about it. So when I'm ready to eat, it's ready to go, and then I can just like sit down and read for the rest of the night. So you'll see a little bit of B-roll, and I'll check back in when I have something significant to say about Model Home. Hey y'all, I'm back here with an update. As you can tell, I was running a bunch of errands today. Today is actually Thursday the 10th. So yesterday I didn't update the vlog, although I did do a bunch of reading. I got pretty far in model home and I'm really liking it so far. We're gonna get to that update in a second, but I just didn't update because I didn't get dressed or anything because it was just kind of one of those days where I wasn't feeling great because it was that time of the month and actually Hurricane Milton had hit yesterday. So I was anxious all day about that. I mean, even though I live in Phoenix, it's just still, it could have been catastrophic. I'm obviously glad that it wasn't a Category 5 that hit land right away. There's still going to be a lot of destruction, but it wasn't as bad as we were thinking it was going to be. So all good. So that's what I did yesterday. Today, as you can see, we ran a bunch of errands today. We went to like 2 different grocery stores. We got some food. We went to PetSmart, went to Bath and Body Works, which I'll show you here in a second what I got, and Ulta. Today, I'll probably... it's kind of late. I mean, it's like 6:30 my time now, and husband's here, so thinking that tonight we might just kind of chill. I'll try to like finish model home tonight. We probably won't give like the full update until tomorrow, but we probably will roll for the Halloween-a-thon and watch a movie and add that B-roll in a bit. However, I just wanted to jump in really quick to do a quick little haul because I'm sure people are kind of interested of what we got. Obviously, I'm not going to show the groceries. You saw that in the B-roll, but from Bath and Body Works, I got 2 candles because it is fall season and I wanted all the fall vibes. So I got leaves from Bath and Body Works. And these were buy one, get one free. I don't know how long this is going to go, but that's always great because these are like almost $30 a candle. So for leaves, it says the fragrant notes are crisp red apple, golden nectar, and warm clove spice. So this one's really, really nice. And then I also got Sweater Weather, which is here, which has notes of fresh sage, juniper berries, aromatic eucalyptus, and fresh woods. So I'm excited about these. And then a quick little makeup haul. I had to go get setting spray. That's what I needed to go out for in general, which is the All-Nighter, or Urban Decay All-Nighter Ultra Matte, because your girl is oily as hell, so this is the one. If anyone's looking for one, that's great. This is also the best mascara you can find. It is, let's see if it'll focus, maybe not. But it's the Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. And when I say, like, I've worn lashes and stuff quite a bit, but I'm not really trying to spend money on lashes and the upkeep of lashes, and sometimes they just like weigh you down. I just need a break. So I'm in that moment where it's like kind of breaking between lashes. But these make it look like I have falsies on 100%, and it stays on. It's great. So it's kind of pricey, not gonna lie, but it's so good. And then I just got a blue eyeliner because I want to play with some color a little bit this fall, and a black cheap eyeliner felt marker. Okay, I'm sorry for that abrupt cut. My husband just came home and kind of interrupted, but we're good. So, as I was saying, I read a lot of Model Home yesterday, and as you can tell, if you can't see from these tabs, hopefully it's auto-correcting, I'm not sure, or auto-focusing, but I have so many tabs in here. I'm on page 208, so I have about 80 pages left to read, so not very much. And what's funny is that you would think I would have a big thing to talk about for now, but I don't want to say much because this is very different from what I was expecting it to be. I was thinking that this was going to be a haunted house story where they were going to be in the house and things were going to be happening to them. However, it is still a haunted house story, but it focuses more on relationships within the individuals instead of the ghost in the house. So basically what I want to say, and these aren't spoilers because it's in the flap as well, is that our main character, Esri, she gets a call from her sisters and they need to go back to her parents' house, and her parents live in this super, super rich mansion and in this area where they were like the only Black people that grew up, which was traumatic, and they didn't really feel like they fit in. And as they were growing up, there were things that were happening in this house that was unexplainable. And they know, in terms of them, with the sisters and the parents, always kind of knew that there was some weird things that were going on in the house. But because Esri's mother is so diehard, like, I worked my ass off for this. I want to show that I'm an established, wealthy black woman in this neighborhood. Like, we're not leaving. So fast forward, and Esri gets this call that she needs to go home, and she basically finds both of her parents dead in the house. The dad is dead on the deck, and the mom is like weighted down with bricks in the pool. And we don't really know what happened, and I still don't know, even with like 80 pages left. But the cops, of course, assume it's like a murder-suicide type of situation. So they're dealing with this, they're dealing with the media. But what I do like about this story is that it really focuses on Esri, and Esri has DID and a host of other mental health issues. But if you don't know, DID is dissociative identity disorder, which is kind of the equivalent of like what people used to call multiple personality disorders. However, the way that River Solomon explains that disorder in this book is done so well, because there's been so many stories that have utilized that disorder to make it seem like these people are crazy and they're losing their mind. Is it real or is it not real? And it's not really giving that with this story, and I appreciate it. Most of these tabs that I have here are just hard-hitting sentences because River Solomon's writing is phenomenal. The way that they talk about gender identity is done so well in this book that I've never seen it done this way before. And I don't want to say too much right now. When I finish the book, I'll give a lot more in depth, but I don't want to say too much because, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to give my opinions and thoughts and then be right and be spoiling as I'm telling you right now. So just know that I love the relationships. I love Esri. I love the gender identity conversations that are being had. I love the explanation of what it means to be Black in America. I love the mental health talk that's in here. I love the family relationships. It's all exceptional. And I feel like I'm reading it slower because the writing is so immersive and so beautiful that I'm annotating more than I normally would. So yeah, that's all I want to say about this right now. I don't know if I'm going to finish this tonight or not, because this is my husband's only night off for a couple of days. So as I mentioned, I think that we might roll for Halloween-a-thon and watch a Halloween movie tonight. I'll put whatever B-roll in that we do for the rest of the evening. I already have my little wine here. We did all of our errands and stuff today, so we just might chill. But if you don't get an update from me tonight, you'll definitely get an update tomorrow when I'm finished with Model Home. So I'll catch y'all in a bit. Okay, first roll for the Halloween-a-thon movie shebang. You roll. Okay, we got 5. Alright, let's pick our mom. Alright, we have Lost Boys and it says a vampire movie. I don't know vampire movies, but we'll figure it out. I have my tea, but it is so hot, and all I want to do is drink it because it smells like straight fall, but I'm gonna have to be patient. We'll try. Okay, it's getting there, but anyway, it is the next day. So today is Friday, October 11th, and I actually finished Model Home last night. We watched Twilight after I finished reading the book, and just been up, made some breakfast, and just kind of been hanging out. So in terms of an update for Model Home, I do want to say I really liked this book. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only reason why I didn't give it a full 5 stars is because I felt like the ending was rushed just a little bit. I like some of the choices that River Solomon made, but I would have liked a little bit more time when we figured out who thing was evil in this book. And it's hard, honestly, it's hard to talk about this book without spoiling it. And I don't really have anything else to add to this aside from what I said in the previous clip, because then you're getting into like spoiler territory. And maybe I will do a spoiler vlog or not spoiler vlog, but a specific spoiler filled like review video for this book, because there's a lot to talk about. What I will say is that this book's not going to be for everyone. It's very heavy. So definitely check your trigger warnings because there are a lot of them. I would just want to say people who are interested into this to not think of it as a stereotypical haunted house story. This isn't like a jump scare, I'm bundled up and scared type of a book when you're reading it. However, it should still be classified as horror because there are a lot of horrific things that happen in this book. But I think that's all I want to say. Because like I said, anything else is spoilers, but I'm hoping that there are a lot of you guys who read this. I saw in the Discord for Blackoween that there were a lot of people who were reading it, so I'm hoping that at the end of this month there will be a lot of people that can talk about it. And definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have, because I would love to talk in detail about it with someone else. As soon as I finished the book, I kind of went onto YouTube and was trying to see if there were other review videos up, and there weren't very many at all. So I'm eager to chat with other people and see how they feel. This is honestly one of my favorite books of the year so far. I think that this is my favorite cover of the year so far. It's so great. The title of the book is perfect. I feel like River Solomon always does a good job with that, or so I've heard, in terms of picking the perfect title, and this is the perfect title for this book. But yeah, that's all I want to say for this. Definitely go pick it up. It was so worth it. Read your trigger warnings first, and yeah, 4.5 out of 5. So we're starting this vlog off very well. Okay, so the next book I'm going to read, I decided I'm going to pick up Sorrowland by River Solomon, of course. And this has so many great reviews. Like, when I looked on my Goodreads for most of my friends who have read it, I don't think anyone has given this less than a 4-star rating. And with all of my friends, it's people who read various different genres and not only just like the horror lovers. So I'm excited for this. I am going to quickly read the inside flap because I don't know a lot about it, and I want to give you guys some context if you don't know. So just really quickly, it says, Vern, 7 months pregnant and desperate to escape the strict religious compound where she was raised, flees for the shelter of the woods. There, she gives birth to twins and plans to raise them far from the influence of the outside world. But even in the forest, Vern is a hunted woman. Forced to fight back against a community that refuses to let her go, she unleashes incredible brutality far beyond what a person should be capable of, her body racked by inexplicable and uncanny changes. To understand her metamorphosis and to protect her family, Vern has to face the past and, more troubling, the future outside the woods. Finding the truth will mean uncovering not only the secrets of the compound she fled, but also the violent history of America that produces it. River Solomon's Sorrowland is a genre-bending work of gothic fiction. Here, monsters aren't just individuals, but entire nations. This is a searing, seminal book that marks the arrival of a bond, unignorable voice in American fiction. So this sounds really cool. I like that it says like a religious compound. I hope that we get a decent chunk of explanation of that, because like anything kind of cultish or organized like religion is interesting to me. Also, the gothic fiction, the genre building gothic fiction is awesome. Like I said, I just read What Moves the Dead, so I'm kind of in a gothic phase, or I want to read another gothic book, so I'm very excited for this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here, drink my tea, hang out with the cats for now. It's like my husband's at work all day, so today's just gonna be a big reading day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll get some B-roll, and then I'll come back when I have something to talk about for Sorrowland. back with another update. So it's been a couple of days and I did finish Sorrowland, but within those 2 days, I didn't film very much because I didn't really do anything. Like I stayed at home both of those days and just pretty much read. And as you could tell in some of the B-roll, I also watched some of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I finished that season and I mean, I have thoughts, but that's not what is happening right now. Yeah, if you know, you know, that show is pretty funny. But other than that, today I actually was watching the Scare Up the Vote, which was Kamala Harris and Tim Wall's fundraiser that Tanana Review actually set up. And there were so many horror writers that you guys saw that talked and kind of gave their own testimonies about why it's important to vote for them. So that was really cool. Maybe go back and check that out and donate if you're interested. It's on Scare Up the Vote. They have a YouTube channel. All right, so getting into the update for Sorrowland. Unfortunately, I didn't really care for this book. I tabbed it quite a bit, so I feel I'm conflicted. So ultimately, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I think that the plot just wasn't captivating enough for me, and it's really interesting, and I don't really understand why it didn't work for me, because at the end of the day, it's pretty much about like a cult, and you get information about this cult, but the way that it was written, it just was so boring to me, to be honest. I tabbed a lot because I've realized that like River Solomon's writing, like their pen game is no joke. Like the sentences really hit hard, and it goes back and forth in my brain because I really like the writing and I could take a lot of notes and like quotes and stuff that I enjoy, but my active enjoyment when like actively reading this book was not there. Like I was not really enjoying it. Honestly, like before I was even halfway, I thought about DNFing it, but I just pushed through. Cause like I did kind of want to know what happened at the end and like if like what was going on with this cult and like what was going on with the main character. But I mean, once I got to the end, I felt like I could have DNF'd it and it would have been fine. But I'm glad that I read it for the vlog so you guys can get my full opinion. And now I'm like kind of nervous or hesitant of going into The Deep, which is the next and final book that I'm going to read from them in this vlog. It's weird. I guess this is a fun little vlog because it went from a 4.5 out of 5 for Model Home, and I loved that book, to Sorrowland, which I wish I would have DNF'd, to now this novella, which I feel like is a little polarizing from what I've seen on Goodreads. It's also a little different because this isn't going to really fit into like the Blackoween because it's not horror, it's more fantasy. But I'm hoping I like it. I'm also kind of confused because it seems like this book was also inspired from a song from the group Clipping, which I'm not familiar with. So I'm definitely gonna listen to that. And I think there's some deeper elements. Oh, sorry. There's some deeper elements in this book. So yeah, I'm hoping I'll like it. And yeah, I'm about to go out with a friend for a little bit. Then I plan on coming home tonight and reading this and then finishing this by tomorrow. And that would be the wrap up for the vlog. So yeah, I'm sorry I don't really have much to say about Sorrowland. River Solomon's books are, you just need to read the trigger warnings if you want to, and if not, then you just need to go into the books after reading the synopsis that's on Goodreads or in the flap, because anything else would be a spoiler, honestly. I just want to say that, you know, the cult element of this was like mildly interesting, but it turns into more of a cult, and there's a deeper meaning behind this cult that I don't want to say because it's spoilers. But yeah, I think that the idea seemed really great. I thought I was gonna really, really like it, but the execution just wasn't it for me. I think there were just a lot of pacing issues, and yeah, and the plot just wasn't captivating as much as I thought it was going to be from the flap. So that's pretty much it. So I will check back in with y'all probably when I finish The Deep, because since it's only like 150 pages or so, I'll just read it all the way through and then come back once I'm done. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Hello. I am back, and it seems like long time no see for me because it is actually December right now. And I'm going to link my last video up above, which is going to explain where I've been during this whole time. Not going to get into it for this because I already have a video that's up there, but definitely had a bit of a slump after reading Sorrowland and just life things that were going on. But I have come back to wrap up this vlog because I did read The Deep and I absolutely loved this little novella. So this vlog is really funny because River Solomon, I think overall I really like River Solomon's writing, and I would always give them a chance. I think Sorrowland just didn't work for me, and especially at the time of my life, it wasn't working for me. But like I said, I'm glad to say that I really loved The Deep. To get started, I just want to read the flap to give you an idea of what it's about, because I don't think I've done that in the vlog yet, and then I'll get into more details. So it says, Yet too holds the memories for her people. Her people, the Wajinru, water-dwelling descendants of pregnant African slave women thrown overboard by slavers, live idyllic lives in the deep. Their past, too traumatic to be remembered regularly, is forgotten by everyone, save one, save the historian. Yet too remembers all of the Wajinru, and the memories, painful and wonderful, traumatic and terrible and miraculous, are destroying her. And so she flees to the surface, escaping the memories and the expectations and the responsibilities, and discovers a world the Wajinru left behind long ago. Yet too will learn more than she ever expected to about her own past and about the future of her people. If they are all to survive, they'll need to reclaim the memories, reclaim their identities, and own who they really are. Inspired by the hit song by Clipping, The Deep will resonate long after the last page is turned. So yeah, this book is going to stay with me for a long time. Just the concept of this book is incredible. And I know that this isn't all given to River Solomon, as they said. Even on the book, it says with I think it's David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes, as you can see there, who are the members and producers of the band Clipping. But this idea of an underworld species that developed from African slaves, pregnant women who were just seen as cargo, basically, and just thrown overboard because there was no use for them and they caused too much stress. The mothers die, but because the embryos live in the sac, in a human's belly, they were able to be birthed and made their own world in the deep, deep sea. So that concept is just fascinating in and of itself. Just leave it right there. But basically our main character, Yetu, she is, or they, we'll get into that in a bit, but they are now the new historian. So basically all of the trauma of the past and the history of where they come from, they decided at one point that only one person's going to carry that burden so everyone else can live a normal life. And that idea is really interesting. And I know that River Solomon has given a nod of acknowledgement to the fact of reading Ursula K. Le Guin's short story, what is it called? Give me 1 second to figure out what the name of this is. Omehas? Something like that. It's called The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas? I'm not sure. I haven't read it yet, and I wish that I would have read it before I sat down and talked. But I know that the premise, as I looked it up, is it talks about what happens if only one person suffers the weight of the world, and is that fair to that person or not? And I think that River Solomon really, really dives into that theme, because I see that theme in Model Home, not too many spoilers, but definitely in The Deep. And I think that the conversation with that topic is really interesting. There is, again, gender identity and understanding of gender fluidity in this book that's done so well, like better than I've seen it done anywhere else. There's a relationship in this book. There's the conversation of, do you need to know your history? And if you don't know your history, does that cause even more harm? I don't even know where to start, because this book has packed such a punch in this little tiny novella. And as always, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but I might do a full review of this book separately on my channel because it was just so good. And maybe I'll throw in Model Home and The Deep together. Let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. But this book was painful. I cried in this book. I immediately went and talked to my husband about this because my brain has just been stewing on the topics that River Solomon discussed in this novel since I put it down just like 2 days ago. The interaction with the species underwater versus the two legs, which are humans that live on land. Spoiler, Yetu does find her way to land for a little bit, or close enough to land to have relationships with the two legs. But there's also the conversation of this is like a post-apocalyptic world at this point, and it kind of explains like the full circle of trauma from when the transatlantic slave trade was happening to now in this post-apocalyptic world where the two legs are now trying to figure out how to like live in the ocean and like take their assets from the ocean and taking away from other creatures who have been there for a long time. I don't know. I think everyone should read this book. It takes a little bit to get into it for sure. With River Solomon's writing, it's really unique, but I say anyone pick this book up. I actually went back and watched a full like 5-hour long discussion that was done by Ashley, who is over at Bookish Realm. She doesn't put videos on Bookish Realm anymore, but I'll put her new channel below. Bree from Lockbooktition, who's also the host of Blackoween, and a few other. There were 5 Black individuals that were in this discussion, and the fact that they had a discussion for 5 hours tells you how much was packed into this book. And I watched that full 5-hour long live show that happened 4 years ago and took so much from it. So thank you guys for doing that, and I love YouTube that I can go back and feel like I was a part of it a little bit, because I just wanted to scream from the rooftops and like have conversations with people about this book because it's so good. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that book now. If I were to rate these books, I think that Model Home is number 1 for me. In this vlog, I said that I gave it 4.5 out of 5, but I definitely bumped that to a 5 out of 5 star. It was really, really good. And then The Deep would be next, and this is a 4.5 out of 5. The only reason why it's not a 5 star is because I want it to be longer, but even though it's only knocked 0.5 stars for me, that's like nothing. I think that they did a fantastic job with packing everything into this little book. I just wanted a little bit more, like, that makes sense. Like, I just wanted a little bit more from it. And then obviously Sorrowland was not a hit for me. I did not like that book. I wish I would have DNF'd it, honestly, but I am glad that I read it in order to share my thoughts with you. So that's it for this vlog. Sorry it's a little choppy, but I am back to filming now. I'm very excited about it, and you should see a video from me in a couple of days. So definitely, if you've read River Solomon, leave comments below of what you felt about these 3 books, like how you would rank them if you read all 3, if you're interested in reading any of them, because I definitely want to dive deeper than the surface level stuff I'm talking about in this vlog with other people who have read their works. Thanks for hanging out with me until the end of this vlog. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.